Did you know that it takes 20 of these 60-year-old Douglas fir trees to make the lumber for one new home? Well, I'm standing in the midst of a tree farm in the middle of the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to show you how you turn timber into lumber. At this 600,000-acre tree farm in Albany, Oregon, an intense managed forest program has been underway for the past 30 years. Here, the trees are selectively harvested and replanted in an effort to maintain a balance between our need for lumber and nature's need to provide an ecologically balanced habitat for wildlife. This forest is owned by Willamette Industries, which manages nearly 2 million acres of timberland across the United States. So Mary, this is what you call a third-generation forest. Can you explain what that means?
Yes, it is, exactly. If you'll look in the background there, you see the tall dead tree that was left and some of the taller dead stumps. That was the forest that was here, the old-growth forest. And those trees were harvested 70, 80 years ago. And a new forest reseeded in, and we came in here about 6 years ago and harvested that forest. And you can see this stump here. Those were the trees that were harvested 6 years ago. We came in as a second generation forest, and then we replanted, and we've got an example here of about a 5-year-old tree that we planted, and then we will get some trees naturally seeding in, and that's what this little one is here.
Now this one here grows at a faster rate than the natural seedling?
Well, this one was planted. What happened here is this one didn't reseed in until about 3 or 4 years ago. So by planting, we get a jump start, if you will, on Mother Nature, rather than waiting for a natural tree to come in. And if you look around, you don't see many natural trees, whereas we've got a planted tree here about every 10 feet.
Pretty spectacular farming operation.
Great, thank you.
Some of the trees in this forest are 250 years old. While a few of the old-growth trees are harvested, most of the timber that is cut down are the younger trees that are part of the managed forest program. The days of Paul Bunyan swinging his axe are long gone. The modern lumberjack can cut down a tree, strip it of its bark and limbs, and cut it into logs 15 feet in length in less than 1 minute. And they're able to accomplish all of this without ever leaving the comfort of their air-conditioned cab.
Mary, this sure beats a chainsaw. It's an awesome machine. What do you call this?
It sure is, Steve. This whole machine is called a SingleGrip Harvester because from the moment it grabs a tree and cuts it off, it processes into logs all in one single grip. We're looking here at the cutting head, kind of the business end of the machine. And you mentioned a chainsaw. Well, right down here we have the bar and the chain, just like a typical chainsaw. This arm here is one of the lower arms that grabs the log, and it's sharpened here. This also senses the diameter. It's all computerized, so as the tree moves along, it can tell what the diameter is. The upper arms also grab the log, and as you can tell, they're quite sharp, and that takes all the limbs off. In the middle here, we have a wheel that turns, and as that wheel turns, that measures the length of the log. So when the computer determines that it's reached the appropriate diameter and length, the saw would come off and cut the tree. And the large wheels here, of course, propel the log along through the limbing and cutting.
How long does it take to do a tree with this?
Oh, from the moment it goes up and grabs the tree and by the time it's all said and done is about a minute.
Could do a lot of trees a day with this.
Yes, it sure can.
After the trees are harvested, the logs are taken to a sawmill for processing. This mill produces 10 million board feet of lumber every month, enough to build nearly 900 homes. The mill is semi-automated. Machines cut all of the boards. But because no two logs are exactly the same, it takes an experienced sawyer to determine exactly how each log will be cut. The system operates a lot like a giant video game. From inside this air-conditioned compartment, the sawyer is able to position the log and cut it to the proper width, all at the flip of a wrist.
You know, as I look around here, I don't see anything that goes to waste.
That's right, Steve. We save the sawdust that goes into MDF particle board.
Which is used for furniture and things like that?
That's correct. Underlayment in floors. We'll save the bark that comes off the log. That'll go into landscaping. We'll take our planer shavings. That'll go into a particle board process. So there isn't any portion of that log that we aren't going to wind up utilizing or marketing in another product.
Most of the lumber is processed into 2x4s and 2x6s. The boards are kiln dried to reduce the moisture content, then sent through a planer to smooth off the rough edges.
Tim, it looks like we're at the end of the line here.
That's right, Steve. This is a piece of 2x6 Douglas Fir, and it's kiln dried.
And why do you kiln dry it?
Well, we kiln dry it to 19% moisture content to stabilize it so that it won't warp or twist after it's in somebody's home.
Now notice how smooth it is.
We surface all four sides so that you don't get any uneven areas or any rough areas either on the face or on the edge.
Well, it looks like a pretty good piece of lumber.
Well, we strive to put out a quality piece for the customer.